I am the Red Cyclone! Ah!
Hello, we are live. Welcome to another episode of the It Gets Better I Swear podcast. It's 1/20/1/18, and I'm here with Mark with the mic.
Yo.
This is the podcast about anything and everything, and this week it's about which movies are we watching this time?
Right now we're watching the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're doing the weekly thing. If you started the first week of January, all the way to Infinity War, you could watch every single Marvel Cinematic Universe movie leading up to it. So we're doing it weekly. So we did the first three last week because we kind of started late, and we are caught up. And now we're going to do Thor. Thor's this week's movie.
Okay, so you watched Thor? I watched Thor?
Yeah. What were your thoughts about it? Because I remember you saying you didn't like it that much because it was too much of a love story kind of thing.
Oh, that's pretty much how I felt after watching it the second time. The first time, I just enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun romp, but I somehow blanked on all that Jane Foster.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna apologize for it. I thought a lot of the movie was just kind of bland. And it was mostly in part to that love story. It was like, it started out with a bang. They had the nice, they went into battle. What was it?
The Frost
Giants.
Yeah.
And they went to the Frost King. And, then you get the revelation that Loki has some sort of connection. Is not 100% sure, but you see him get touched and then he doesn't turn to ice or whatever. And that's your first hint that something's up.
He also turned blue in the movie.
He did turn blue. Well, he turned blue instead of turning into ice. So that was like your first clue that there's some connection between him and the Frost Giants, obviously, but also that something is going on. Yeah. And I'll say for the beginning of the movie, the first act, as they were fighting that huge army, that was actually really fun. That was really cool to watch. I like how they portrayed. What do they have a name? That group?
Fuck, I forgot the name.
I'm pretty sure they have some type of thing. But
we would just call them Thor and his merry men.
Well, his merry men and Valkyrie.
Well, they have Valkyrie. Yeah. No, that's Lady Sif.
Oh, it's Lady Sif. My bad.
Valkyrie was the one.
Isn't she a Valkyrie? Because I know Valkyrie's a different character.
No, it's a different character.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, she has his band of merry men and women. And it's just like I really thought it was cool how they showed off all their skills and why are they there, why are they hanging with Thor? But unfortunately, they suffer from main character syndrome. They're not as good as Thor, so they get their asses kicked. So, yeah. I mean, it's actually pretty heavy stuff to start out on, with them getting decimated like that, and then you just have Thor coming in and sweeping everything up. And they narrowly escape, but not really, because Thor. And that basically leads into what I didn't like, which is a lot of talking.
Yeah. All right, I had a different take on the movie. I actually really liked this movie because it was a different movie from what we got before with Hulk and Iron Man. One being more comedy action. Well, first one being full action, Hulk being full action, and then you kind of had like more of a comedy action. This one was a different take on a Marvel movie, which was kind of a romantic. Had its romance, it had everything like that, but I really liked the character that Thor portrayed, as in he was a cocky son of a bitch, and then he had to learn to be humble and be more reserved with his with how cocky he is and shit like that. So his ass was and he had to prove himself that he was worthy. And that was the one thing I liked about it, is the fact that it kind of showed the development of his character, him actually caring for someone other than himself within the movie. And I was fine with that. I actually I like Thor a lot in that sense.
With everything you described, I agree.
Yeah.
I like, but what you described wasn't Jane Foster. Like, that's the only part I don't really like.
Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense.
I like his character development. I like his story arc. He went through the thing with, like you said, because his team got decimated because of his hasty action. So yeah, there's that thing. He had to learn his lesson.
Yeah, and then I also like how naive he is, and how much because he knows Loki does stupid shit, but he just don't care, and he's like, oh, but you're my brother, I don't care, and stuff like that. I like those characteristics with Thor because he believes somewhat good in everyone, and that's how he gets caught up with a lot of shit as well. But
well, that's the hero dichotomy, right?
Yeah.
His greatest weakness is Commander. Going in, for whatever reason, I didn't get the notification. I'm like, I heard you go live. I got the notification for going live. I'm like, wait, why didn't I get the hangout anyway? But that's the thing for the hero, right? Your biggest weakness is naivete, right? You've got such a big heart, and your belief in anybody's ability to change for the better is what any good villain will prey upon, right? It's like your weakness is that you care, which we all know is evil's misunderstanding that their care is their greatest strength. That's the circle, right? Your greatest weakness is your greatest strength, all in the same point. You care. This is why you will triumph in the end, because your heart's so big that you put everything in it for that. But it's also your weakness, whereas those certain things where it's like, oh, you care about this life, so I'm going to put this here in front of me, and of course you're going to choose that. I'm going to get away, or you're going to choose this, and this plan is going to go ahead and go full. So you know what I mean? It's just necessary for that kind of architect writing, like you said, for him messing up with his crew, them getting beat up, him coming in and saving the day pretty strongly. But I think that's not only is the hero syndrome, but it's also for that development of the character. We got to remember that they're portraying Thor's supposed to be a god. He's the son of Odin, so there should be a skill gap between even his crew of merry men and him. They are Asgardians, but they what I mean. There's a level. It should be a skill gap between God and other warriors around him. The only one that's closest to that skill gap should be Loki, his brother, Odin himself.
Lady Sif is kind of close to that sense too.
She's kind of close, and of course my man, I forget Heimdall.
Yeah,
it makes me wonder if he's just as strong, if not
Yeah, he's kind of on the same playing field.
On the same playing field as Thor himself, but he would have to be given his job. But go on.
I did like a lot of the side characters, as well as Heimdall, as Loki, as the merry men that we called them, and as even like Kat Dennings' character, the professor, and shit like that. They all had their plays and their thing. Like the one memorable parts for me was them two getting drunk together.
Yeah, I did like that.
Yeah, and so it brought some heart, brought some felt into the character. I understand, I could see why the love shit could be annoying and whatnot, but I understood it for this movie because it was different. It was a different take on the character. It was a different take on the movie. They didn't want to be too much like Iron Man and Hulk. They wanted to make its own entity with it. So going with a different style, I was all for it.
My main gripe with the how the love story went down was that it just seemed very by the books,
right?
And that's kind of why this was like, well, this is not anything special at all.
Yeah,
I feel like,
I mean, I do like how it fed into his redemption because he was disgraced, and him showing his true feelings, and gaining this respect for these humans, these mortals.
Yeah.
And you see how he gained the camaraderie with a new group of people.
Yeah,
and that's what eventually gets him to become worthy again.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, it served its purpose, and it was a good ride along the way. It's just that there were still maybe about 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes that was just like spread throughout the movie. If you count it all up, for me, it was just like, this is kind of whatever.
Yeah, I kind of.
I don't say I'm not saying bad. This is clarification. It's not bad. It's just those elements for me were whatever.
Okay, no, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. One thing I actually really dug about this movie and I really enjoyed was the effects of the hammer and how he used it. Like he spun it to fly. He did everything, and he actually adapted what the comic book Thor does, and I actually really enjoyed it. The helmet I wasn't too fond of, but he didn't wear the helmet as much.
Yeah, that's Hollywoodism. What are you gonna do?
But I didn't mind. I actually didn't mind him not wearing the helmet. Like the helmet kind of looked funny, so I was fine with him not wearing it all the time.
No one minded Golden Locks Chris him.
He's a handsome enough man.
But then also I did like the fact that they went kind of more with the current suit of Thor with the whole chainmail on the arms and everything like that. I really dug the suit. I really dug the hammer. I really dug the way he looked, and I liked him as an actor. I liked him as Thor. Like I think no one was gonna capture that essence of what Thor was. I thought he did a perfect job with it. Yeah, like he's kind of dumb in ways, and it just works for his character. And he looks like he's like a little out of his mind at times, and I really dug that with the character.
Also, okay, did they constantly go back and forth on it? But can Thor really get drunk?
No,
because it keeps saying he can't get drunk, but you clearly see like he not when he loses his powers, but even when he gets pissed after the thing, it's like he was drinking too, right? So what?
He got when he lost his power. He lost his power. That's when he was able to get drunk.
No. I mean before that, when they had the that spread, and they were like when he first got there and he was happy.
Yeah.
Before he destroyed the banquet or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it just seemed like he was out of, like, I don't know. He seemed a little too...
Well, I think he could get drunk, especially if it's like ale from fucking Asgard.
Like, I think that's the difference. Like, I could give it to it if it's, like, from his home place, they would have something strong enough for them. Like, it's made for them. Like, he shouldn't get drunk over a Budweiser here on Earth, but...
Like, say for instance, I had Asgardian meat. I'll probably be fucked up.
Yeah.
You take a shot of that and have to go to the emergency room. Yeah. So I'll give it to them like if hometown advantage. Sure, why wouldn't he get drunk from Asgardian mead or ale or whatever?
Yeah.
So what did you think of? What did you think of the villain?
Yeah.
If you could.
I really liked Loki.
The villain or the sub-villain or the thing he fought? What are we talking about?
Well, I like Loki's story. I like the build and the character, building the character of Loki and like in the beginning you don't really see him like kind of betraying Thor, but little by little you start seeing it working, and I was fine with that. The way he did it and how he tricked his way into it, I was fine with that. I think it was perfect in how they told the story of Loki. The big fight scene with the big robot thing, I was fine with because that was something that it was always it was part of the origin comic too, that he fought that big thing to get his powers and shit like that. So it kind of went to the comic with that, and I was perfectly fine with it. I did like Loki a lot. I think he's one of the better the villains of the MCU.
I was gonna say he's one of the better villains of cinema in recent history for me.
Yeah.
Right? He's one of those strange. So I'm gonna alter this phrase to suit him specifically. How would a villain that lives long enough to see himself become a hero? You see what I'm saying? Usually you see a hero live long enough to see himself become the villain. Loki's kind of on that other side. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, but let's jump back to this current movie of what we're talking about. Yeah, he's a great villain. He's an amazing actor. Like they wrote that character amazing. He stood out. There's nothing like a good villain. There's nothing like it. It just helps drive everything and gives you the push for the hero. It gives you something entertaining. There's nothing like a bland nothing villain. Justice League. God, that. Anyways, but yes, I'm totally on board with you. His whole story, his arc, his origin story. There's so much to see what drives Loki.
Yeah.
Right. You learn so much about like the person. Why he's doing what he's doing, even as misguided as it is for him.
Yeah.
You see his motivations and why. They don't seem all completely vapid and nothing, right? Yeah. It's not generic hero. I'm going to take over the world because that's what you do when you're a villain,
Yeah.
So I really like Loki as well.
Yeah.
Sorry if I rambled.
So this movie, it was the first appearance of another Avenger that we'll see going into Avengers. We got the first appearance of Hawkeye. And that was probably one of the memorable scenes of this movie. I think one of the big scenes is when he was trying to pick up the hammer. When he went into the fucking shield and fucking everyone up and trying to pick up the hammer. I really dug that scene and kind of brought in the whole connection of Avengers into the movie with Coulson and everything like that.
Right, Hawkeye, I agree, and it started in this film and then carried on to the others. But really, now that I think about it after seeing it, is he pulled off that character of regular man in extraordinary situation, and just he gives you those audience. He's that audience surrogate. He kind of gives you that reaction he would have, right? Just that kind of okay. So it's like that's what I get with that character, because Hawkeye is just a man, right?
Yeah.
But he's in something so extraordinary.
and I love the line. I love his line. It was like, you know what? You keep having me wait. I'm gonna start rooting for this guy.
Right. You know what I mean? It's like.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Then you also see Coulson making more of an impact with S.H.I.E.L.D. And then the big battle for Asgard and them coming back and doing everything. I really like it throughout this movie. I really enjoyed towards the ending. I even like the final scene when they broke the Rainbow Bridge and he's looking down and he's like, do you see her? And how is she? And then he really wants to go back to her, and how they did the whole scene. I actually thought that was really cool.
It's a good scene, man.
Okay.
Because that was his whole way of coming back to Earth, is for her.
Yes, this is true.
And how he became what he is because of her. And I think that was the big point of it, is the fact that she changed his mentality with things.
Yeah, he opened his heart and he paid attention.
Yes.
He wasn't just all about himself, and that was pretty much the lesson learned. He was incredibly selfish.
Yeah.
In the beginning,
he had to become selfless.
He put his comrade's life in danger and all that, for something that was foolish. And basically he came to Earth and realized that he needed people by his side that he could trust, and he didn't need to needlessly sacrifice them. And then what he ends up doing is, when he's powerless fighting them, he takes command anyway, even though he has no powers. And he becomes very selfless, and he makes sure he gets everybody out of the way, and he's looking out for their well-being, and he comes up with plans and try to take down the destroyer by as a team effort, whereas old Thor would have did it by himself. Yeah. So you definitely see the growth.
And then the bonus scene was pretty much the stepping stones for Avengers. When the science dude, I always forget his name, but he's pretty much taking a look at the Tesseract, and you see Loki in his reflection.
Oh yeah, that towards the actual end. But they also, the one thing that's constant throughout the Marvel movies up to this point is you get to see S.H.I.E.L.D. grow too. Yeah. Because when you first see S.H.I.E.L.D., it's just one dude.
The Strategic Homeland Initiative.
It didn't have
the
name.
acronym yet. It had the name, but they didn't, put it together. So it was like.
And now you see them. They got a fucking underground laboratory. They got the come out with the 6-7 Humvees and whatnot. They got the hammer surrounded. And at this point in S.H.I.E.L.D.'s history, they're on top of everything. Yeah. See them on top of everything. Yeah. So that's a very different.
But you would have to think that even with that, you could just infer from the continuity that you think Tony would have had something involved with the speed of their growth, right? Yeah. Because at the end of they talk between the last couple of movies. You know what I mean? Yeah. Coulson and all of them, and all of a sudden, their tech is going high up. Anything involved with Stark Industries.
Do they ever play out? Does the timeline have an actual real timeline within the universe, like year-wise between the movies?
I don't think it does.
Well, Thor, when they discovered the hammer, it was during Iron Man 2. It was like in the middle of Iron Man 2 when they discovered the hammer.
Okay.
When S.H.I.E.L.D. discovered.
But they don't ever give how many years until Thor got it back, or how many months until he got it back.
They didn't like go precise month and what, but you could tell, like especially with the involvement of Shield and how if you remember the ending of Iron Man 2 and how evolved, especially if Tony Stark being involved with it now
Mm-hmm.
and what they are now, you could see the difference in their technology and everything.
Oh no, I just mean how long until like from one to the next. Do they ever mention how long it is between each movie?
Thor 2 is after Avengers. So basically everything that happens in Avengers, everything after that is that's what happens after Avengers.
Okay. I guess it's just like a loose.
But I get what you're saying. Like you wanted like the events of Iron Man 1 took place, and then 3 years later were Iron Man 2, and then maybe 4 months later was Hulk. And
yeah,
during Iron Man 2, Thor happened. You know what I mean? A couple of months
apart. There's no like real like in cement timeline.
Okay.
Right.
And I don't mean that, but you know, it's more so they kind of have like continuity stuff. So,
no, but it's also like in two whole different areas as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see it like that. No, I understand what you're saying. So let's wrap this up with Thor. Thor was I really enjoyed it. You had your ups and downs with it.
I still like it better than like the original Hulk movie. It's not bad. I don't like it less than most other Marvel movies. I just had one gripe. That's it.
I put it on the same level as this. Like I feel Thor, the first one, served its purpose, did it well, and that's it. But it was nothing amazing. I feel the same thing, even though people may disagree with me. I think the first Captain America movie was a fine movie. I liked it, I enjoyed it, but I think it was kind of bland.
Mm-hmm.
In its story, like it told a story, it kind of did it, but that was it. Like it really didn't jump, But they more than recuperated from that. But I will say what say looking back at Cap 1, but we'll get that when we get to there. So we'll talk about that.
And that will be next week's movie.
That'll be next week's movie. Okay.
Captain America: First Avenger.
And
we'll be doing that next Sunday, and we'll be having a little verdict of Captain America: First Avengers.
So I did a good segue.
But Thor was really dope. I really enjoyed it, and you happened to do a great segue. Going to the other things, you played a couple of betas this week.
Yeah, I played the Metal Gear Survive beta, which I didn't know was out.
I wasn't going to touch that, but I saw it too.
It's actually really there's a lot of controversy behind the game because it's using the engine from Metal Gear Solid 5.
And this is the game.
Yeah, because there's no Kojima involved.
Oh, God. Okay, that controversy. I was about to say, like, is it broken? Did they steal? Oh,
no.
Because they've
using his engine and the man ain't there. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, gotcha.
And then there's of course the third and I believe final Monster Hunter World Beta. And it's basically introducing the monster Nergigante, which is a hell of a fight. That thing is incredibly difficult. Like you have to either have a team of people who know how to play the game really good, or there's some cooperation necessary. I mean, if they give you 15 minutes, and that's why it's so difficult, because if it was the normal Monster Hunter time limit of 50 minutes or 40 minutes, you could bang your heads against it and try not to die, and you might get through it. But with the 15-minute time limit, they make sure that this is a monster that only people either know what you're doing, or you can
skill check.
Or you can
skill check.
Well, not just the skill check, is that because of how open-ended Monster Hunter is. Oh, lost Mert. Hopefully he comes back.
Certainly, go on.
But just the way it's built, hopefully you can say you don't have the right equipment because the beta doesn't give you high-end equipment.
Certainly.
What they want you to do then is, if you're not a god with the game, which there are a lot of people who can kill that thing in 3. I've seen some amazing things.
Some videos. Yep, I've seen videos.
Japanese do not play around. There is apparently a 1-minute video out there somewhere. I still need to see it.
Yeah, I think it was 50 seconds and maybe less than that.
Something, like there was one with 4 people shooting it to death. So that makes me happy.
It in the traps, it was crazy.
That makes me happy because that means heavy bowguns are back, and it's been a while. But what it seems like the main point is, either you are good enough to beat it, or you can work together.
Right.
So you can take your collective skill sets, whatever they may be, and devise a plan and beat it. And basically, that's like the end all be all of Monster Hunter when it gets to like the high level, because equipment and skills, skilled trees are one thing,
Right.
but when you can put the plan into motion and actually take the monster out with what you have devised, that requires a completely different skill set than the skills that it takes to beat it up. Basically, you have to be patient, you have to listen, you have to look around you. The way the environment works in this game now is way different from what it used to be. There's environmental traps now. There's like a lot of stuff there's actually things that hinder your mobility, because when you start to fight with the monster, you start in deep water and it makes you walk slower. Like, there's a lot of stuff that people who are new to Monster Hunter, but just people who don't pay attention in games,
and
are gonna miss.
Is absurd.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that they fixed the hitboxes, but there are some cases where there's some shit that will hit you when you weren't even next to it. So, like, I tried at first.
By tracking, I mean the ability of the monster to track you. So after I did say that I did play it, and the other people I was playing with it just all kept getting killed. One, they shouldn't have fought him in this tight corridor. They should have lured him back out. So when they all died, I needed to escape because he's hyper aggressive, right? Mm-hmm. So like, he tracked me around this pillar, like literally. I'm using every technique I had. Like, wow, like the tracking, like, is a little weird in older games. Like the tracking, like, they kind of notice you, they'll dash towards you, then they'll maybe turn around and find you again. And no, he tracked me out of the corridor because I made sure I got out of there. I literally had to do a merry-go-round around this pillar of each, circling it twice before he attacked, and then I could dash out of the way, and then he had to find me. But like, literally was just crawling, stalking me like a weird animal. Like, it was pretty interesting. I dug it because I was like, that's pretty good. But
yes, there's changes to the way the AI behaves now. Like, it
right.
There's a straight up. Before, there was a type of aggro system where if you wore certain armor with certain skills, monsters would pay more attention to you. Mm-hmm. But in this game, there's just, I don't know what they did when they flipped the switch, where it's like, if you smack something upside the head, it tends to get blind. No, but it tends to get blind.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like, if you catch them at an opportune moment with like maybe a lot of damage or something, sometimes it breaks the monster out of its pattern and it just focuses on you. And like, I don't know if it's a damage threshold that you have to break or what that's about, but that's a new thing.
Who's hurting me the most? I'm going after you.
And there's also I think it might also be related to line of sight, whereas if you're the only hunter in its direct path, it tends to pay attention to you because you're the only one in front of it. And it seems like they've got rid of the monster wasting time type of stuff. I mean, Rathalos still wastes your time. It's a pain in the ass, but it seems like you said before, where the monster would come towards you, not do anything, move around, turn, pivot, like, to try to get the angle on you, because it has such a limited mobility set from the old ass engine.
Right.
So it seems like the upgrade is maybe catching people off guard. I mean, like, from experience, people just die constantly. I died 3 times in a row too the first time I fought it, because I didn't know what the fuck it was doing. So, and I've been playing it since the first fucking game. So like
but if
this
you've never
is
seen
like
a monster
playing,
before, you don't know what it's gonna do.
It's not even that. It's just like, this doesn't play like Monster Hunter. And I mean, those old idiosyncrasies are gone. That weird 2-step thing is gone. That weird stutter stepping stuff, because, like I said, it was old technology. It was, it was old AI. It was scripted differently because it was old. There was like a limit to the shit. And now when you
limit break.
Yeah, so now when you play and you watch the monster itself, it's like you said, there's a living thing after me.
Right.
How do I shoot this thing? So, kudos to them making me sit there and learn the monster and learn how to fight it by myself. And I was able to beat it with 4 seconds left by myself. Like, I'm sure people beat it with, like you said, the one I saw is the solo one. I think the fastest solo was like 3 minutes. Granted,
The one I saw was the 52nd, and it was a team
I didn't
of 4,
use-
and they all had bow guns. And
no, solo.
bombs.
Solo.
Oh, solo. Okay, I haven't seen a solo.
So like the fastest solo I've seen was 3 minutes, and that was with a heavy bowgun, and he was Rambo to the gills, and he had his plan set and everything. So there was no way he was gonna fail. I mean, Monster Hunter does have a way of screwing you out of your plans, yes, but like I said, there was damn near everything went wrong when I fought it, and I just managed to barely squeeze a victory out. I just wanted to kill it because I know they give you a pack of stuff when you beat it. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just go for the gold. And I made sure that was my goal for this morning, was to sit down and just beat it. It took me like 2 hours to do it solo, and I finally did it. I might try it again before I go to sleep.
Did you record
that a video going up?
If I can beat it again, yeah. I mean, I put the picture up of the screen. That's the one thing I love that they do now. They show you the win screen, and because of the systems that is on now, you can easily take a picture.
Yeah.
No more bullshit times. No more people telling you they beat something in 5 minutes and there's no proof.
Blurry cell phones camera shot.
Yeah, blurry cell phone. Yeah. And people having to use all types of capture kits to hook it up to a 3DS, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
Now we have it on a system, and now we can have these crisp, clear pictures that you can post to any website or anything, and it's great. And then also that opens up all the really cool moments that happen during a fight, also being able to easily be captured, which is another thing I'm thankful for.
Nice.
Because it's on these systems. Like sometimes you might not even win a fight, but something might happen during a fight that was so cool, you just like, I can't believe that fucking happened. Now you can have the proof. You know what I mean? And show people. So I'm very happy. As for Metal Gear Survive, I'm completely shocked that the game is fun.
I think just to close off my channel, and I'll let you go into that. I think this is going to be definitely a really big, awesome resurgence, and I think it's a very streamable game. So I think that's going to help it as well. Because there's already
people. I've seen people come out the woodwork like they're retired. So, I've seen.
So it's going to be out there.
Yeah.
More than much. So
it comes out next Friday, right?
Yes. Also, Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Dragon Ball FighterZ. I got to play that beta this last week.
Did you enjoy it? Did you?
Well, I was actually trying to play something with Jenkins. Me and Jenkins was in the waiting.
Yeah, it was a hard thing. Yeah.
But I got a couple fights. I won some. I lost some.
Yeah, I understand. Like, because I saw it was a mess trying to get fights.
It's just until the game comes out proper. There's no just like, hey, invite my friend over, we can fight each other thing.
Yeah, I know.
I really wish they would have put that up.
Yeah.
But I guess, that's not what they're testing. The thing they're testing is the thing they should be, the regional and international matchmaking system. Where, you know what I mean, over great distances. I'm pretty sure they're confident if you link to your friend and you guys play just together, they're going to worry about you.
Also,
it'll have been nice.
To that point, the Monster Hunter beta, not very much lag. Of all the matches I played, I leave it on any for the language setting, and you get different regions and stuff. I ended up playing with some Japanese people, no lag. I ended up playing with some French people, no lag. I only had one match where there was lag, and it might have been my fault because I think I was like downloading a podcast. I don't know, something happened, and it might have been my fault. I'm not sure.
I'm looking to get it. I might get it like a little later because I'm actually digging the PS4 Pro Monster Hunter edition. It looks pretty fucking cool, so I'm actually might wait and save for that because I actually digging the whole dragon shit on the console.
Okay, I feel you.
And I need to update on my PS4 because my PS4 is being a bitch.
All right.
That's why I'm not really on it. That's why I kind of stopped playing Destiny and shit. I'll play Injustice here and there. Is that my PS4 been acting up and been shutting down on its own? So it's like it annoys me. I was playing Yakuza. I got to a point and it shut down. I was so pissed because I got pretty far.
All right, and we're gonna take a little break right here just to remind you to follow us on Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Also on SoundCloud. What we do is we have this podcast, the It Gets Better I Swear podcast, We also have the Wrestling Babble podcast that's hosted by Merc with the Mic, who's a frequent guest on my show. And that should be on Merc with the Mic on SoundCloud. We post those on YouTube as well, so you can check the Merc with the Mic podcast out on his YouTube channel, which is also Merc with the Mic. And also you can catch the It Gets Better I Swear podcast, as well as the various other playthroughs on the RedCycloneInc YouTube channel. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm having an issue with my PS4 as well, and it's a little weird. And I have the Pro.
Yeah.
But it seems to still be, because it happened again during this beta, but I just noticed it. I think it happened again during something else I was doing, but I'm not 100%. I got to keep trying it to see it happen. But the last time it was happening while I was playing the Monster Hunter beta. And I think it has something to do with me turning on the HDR for the full res. And like, I'll be playing, and the screen just cuts black, and just cuts back in, and just cuts black, and just cuts back in every couple
Maybe
of
the
minutes.
game wasn't rendered for that yet.
It has settings as soon as you turn it on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I know.
I've seen people talking about the how it looks, and I think that's one of the other showcases for the beta. So I think maybe it was ready for, like, I don't think there's any glitches with that particular thing.
I think
but
there's something with my PS4, because I think
it might
was
be
telling me
system.
he was having the same kind of issue, and that update or something, blah blah blah, happened, and it was doing that. But I'm like, it hasn't fixed, and it's like every time I load up that game. But then again,
confirmation between the two of there was an update that screwed things up. And
I'm like, there's been updates since then, and I'm weirded out, because I'm like, how come mine isn't fixed yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, it's weird.
Well, make sure
I'm telling you, it's not that game. I definitely think it's a copy, because I think it happened to me when I was playing Infamous Second Son.
Okay.
So,
okay. All right.
Makes sense.
That's another HDR heavy game. So
but let me before we go too far, let me just get my thoughts on the Survive beta.
Please.
I would definitely say it's something that a lot of people might actually like. It's, if you're into the survival genre, it's a different spin on it. It's like a AAA polished, third person action game that just happens to be in a survival genre. Whereas, like, you have hunger, you have thirst, you have all sorts of injuries you have to take care of in real time. Some of the stuff is, to be honest, some of the stuff I think is not all in there, because I think there was an issue with, if you drink dirty water and you try to cure it, that the items that you need to make the cure for being, I forgot what they call it when you drink the water when you get sick in the game. Okay, I don't know if they call this a type of game. I don't know if they call the game some kind of funny name or whatnot, because it's Metal Gear. Remember the guy Johnny? Yeah, I was about to say, there's a character famous for always shitting himself, having to take a dump. So I don't know if they call it something funny, but like you said, dysentery. So I don't know if the items to craft the cures to all the ailments are in the game. So you might not want to drink the dirty water in the game. Not 100% sure. I saw a lot of stuff in there, and to be honest, the people reviewing it probably weren't just getting S ranks, which also gives you, different loot pools, because you get way more stuff and way higher grade stuff, and so maybe there was some stuff in there. Anyway, it's a tower defense. You have an area, you have a few minutes to get to it. You scrounge up supplies on your way there, and you're given a few more minutes to build up defenses before everything starts. So you can get to the base, you can start building fences from the supplies you picked up, and every time somebody in your party starts, it's a 4-man party, typically. In this game so far, from what I've played, is built for multiplayer. There is a single player component. I don't think that's up and ready, because it's a beta. It's just doing the multiplayer. But it seems focused on multiplayer. I tried to do the waves by myself. Wasn't happening, Captain. At least not with a default character. Wasn't happening. So, that might turn people off, because it doesn't necessarily say to you, hey, you should try online first. Typically, people want to start by themselves. learn the ropes. That's a smart thing, but it just doesn't seem built to, maybe that'll change in the final product. It's not built that way. So that's one thing to take note of. But the way you set up, if anybody's played any type of tower defense, there's the building phase. So they give you a small building phase in the beginning. Once you get to your map, because you select the map, you get dropped there. Building phase 1. You can put down the generator early. I don't recommend that because, take your time. I think once you put the generator down, it starts the phase earlier than anticipated. So what you should do is just look around the area, get familiar with it, see where all the holes are. Because here's the thing that will clue people in to what style of game it is. When you look at the ground, once the rounds start, the pathing for the enemy shows up.
That's cool.
So you can see where the enemies will walk in relation to your base. So these are the places you want to put your defenses. These are the places you want to put your fences. These are the places, your spike barriers, your electric traps. And that's one of the cool things that the game might thrive on. It might thrive on the fact that it's got all those that weird Metal Gear shenanigans. It's got.
Gotcha. It sounds a lot like the the Horde mode in Gears of War 4.
Yeah, all right. I can see what you mean. I can see what you mean.
It sounds like that mixed with Fortnite.
I can see what you mean. The comparison of Fortnite, zombie, whatever the original mode is I've heard that, but basically it's in the realm of those games of any tower defense game.
But yeah, like I said,
it's more tower defense. So if Fortnite is tower defense, then that's probably the closest. But it's not really open survival. It's more tower defense. This base building is base defense. Is wave based. It's like that. So, but again, it's fun. It's very polished because it's the Fox engine. It's fucking great. It looks beautiful because it's the same engine. It looks beautiful. The intro, what would you call that? The presentation, once you get into the actual setup area, is actually pretty amazing. It's a blank room, and you can see your car, your profile, hovering in the air in the background, as if your scorecard is the wall. It almost looks like it's probably made for virtual reality, because all the elements are just in the world. Your scorecard. So it's a big white room with grids on the floor and on the ceiling and whatnot. And what you do is you walk up to these little circles on the ground, and you'll get a prompt. And when you hit I think it's the X button, just stuff materializes out of the air, which is pretty cool. That's what I like about that. It's an empty room, and then stuff just shows up. That is pretty cool. Also, that area is a room where you and the 3 other players can just fuck around before the quest as well. So you're given infinite ammo, infinite, items, and you can test out everything without fear, of losing stuff, because everything that you make costs materials. So that's a problem.
Right.
But
that makes sense.
That leads into
repair stuff, if the fence is damaged.
Repair costs, I haven't seen the repair costs.
Okay.
Because everything gets destroyed, so it just has a life bar, and I guess you have to replace it. But the way the game is set up, you can literally, typically in these types of games, you can't just put stuff down next to each other in rows and make it look all stupid and sloppy. In this game, as long as there's physical space on the ground, and they're not overlapping, you can put things down together. So if you were that, OCD about it, you could literally just make a chain link fence around the entire perimeter if you had so many materials.
Right.
So basically, because of the engine, I'm assuming there's not really a limit. So you could probably see some really stupid stuff later on in the game. I'm hoping so.
So it's that thing where
go ahead.
It sounds really solid and really good. And isn't that the fear? Damn you, Konami, for making a decent game. Everybody would have had the thought of, we hope they fail with this. But actually, I have the kind of thing. Hey, it's a new game. If it's a good game, then it's a good game, and I wish it success, right?
Mhm.
And it doesn't seem like it's. Well, you can answer this question because you played it. Does there anything to seem like it's looking for any kind of sideways compensation? Doesn't a hey,
To my mind,
purchase this?
no. I think before the game, before this thing even came out, I think there was already like talk about the boxes, loot boxes and stuff for this games.
Right, right.
I don't know if that was official talk from Konami or somebody else, but I like in reference to this game, I have heard people talk about this. But from what I've
Okay.
seen, there's no store. There's no store in the menus or nothing. I didn't see any menus talking about DLC and stores or anything. So
Gotcha.
that's not in the beta.
When it comes out,
I think it's soon. Like
20?
the date is
February?
I think it's February.
Okay.
So it's not gonna be eaten alive by Monster Hunter or Dragon Ball. So it's got time. The downsides I was gonna bring to it is this game very much looks like it's easily gonna be microtransactions up the yin yang. Like yes, I did just say
So it does that. Okay.
I did just say there was nothing there, but it looks
Yes.
like
See where it would be.
it looks like it can be microtransaction up the yin yang. Like you
mean,
get it's a loot game. It's a loot based game. I bet you
Gotcha.
they will sell loot boxes.
Yep.
The second thing that I want to say is bad is what you're referencing, Commander Farrell, is
Yep.
the ill will after the
Right.
Metal Gear Solid 5 fiasco, where they
Right.
found out the conditions that Kojima and his crew had to work under, and the lack of compensation and all this other stuff.
Sure.
And so the fans are still out there in force saying fuck Konami. You will see in comments for the videos hashtag fuck Konami. You will constantly see that type of stuff. That's gonna hurt this game. If this
Definitely,
game was not
yeah.
called Metal Gear Survive and was called something else Survive,
Right.
you could wash your hands and go, oh, it's just using the engine. But this game was clearly built to take advantage of that engine under the Metal Gear name. That's gonna hurt the fuck out of it.
well,
Like-
we'll see next month.
It's I mean, again, it's not for everybody playing it. You know, it's not a Metal Gear game. It's not a Metal Gear game. They need to get out there early. I mean, shit, it's probably too late now. You only got like a month and change. But like, they need to get out there and say this is a survival game. This is not a Metal Gear game. This is a tower defense game, a base building game. This is not a Metal Gear game. So there you have it.
Okay. I just want to spot out Street Fighter 5 had their arcade
Oh yeah.
resurgence today this week. I was talking to you about it today because I was not sure the price wise and what they do, but
Mhm.
I'm a little disappointed that they could have gave you, like I said, like being a person that bought the game from the start, I should have got all the DLC for free.
At this point,
I feel entitled.
It's been what 2 years?
I feel entitled to get all the DLC for free except for season 3.
Like, I agree with you, dude.
Yeah.
The game came out in 2016. It's
But-
2018.
But I'll give it credit where credit's due. The arcade mode is pretty cool. You go through the different generations of Street Fighter. So they have Street Fighter 1, 2, 3, Alpha, and 4, 5.
And
So
they tell you the order too.
yeah, and then they will give you characters from that time. So those are the only characters you could do in that storyline, and each ending of each arcade thing is different. So Ryu's ending from Street Fighter 1 is different from Street Fighter 2. It's pretty much is just a redone comic drawing of his ending for Street Fighter 2.
I got a question
And
though.
on. Yeah.
Did you notice Birdie's shades on his old school costume?
Yeah,
Like he's got the muscle body, but he has the shades. That's all. That's a little
Yeah.
unique thing.
yeah. I'm digging what they're doing with it. Again, I wish they were more kind to the fans that actually took a chance on this game, because I feel no fan love from them at all.
Also, I would say the only thing that you could wait a little bit, like maybe wait a few weeks to see how that extra battle mode is shaping up, because that's the mode where you can get the free costumes.
Yeah, so I'm looking at that.
Yeah, like so that might be where they're giving back stuff,
Yeah.
because I don't think the fight money prices are outrageous yet. So I want to see how that unfolds.
Yeah, Because the buy costumes is ridiculous. For fucking $30 for costumes.
Yeah, I know. Like, there's so many.
Yeah,
I don't know why
that's
ridiculous. They're not unlockable in any fashion. Like, and mind you, there are, but like you've seen the prices with the fight, with the fight money.
Yeah,
like they're not realistically obtainable to people that don't play anything except that game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like I will play it here and there. I don't play it like that. So me to unlock shit and have to grind like that, I'm like, fuck that. I'll play Injustice.
Exactly. Like, you go somewhere where you can unlock stuff easier.
Yes. So, but it's cool. I liked the addition to the arcade mode. I like that they did add some bonus stages to the arcade mode. You do have the barrel one that you actually, but it's kind of annoying because you got to fight a guy hitting the barrels.
You don't. It's a secret. You don't really have to fight him. You can use him to make.
Oh, okay.
You can kind of use him to like make combos for the
barrels. All right, that makes sense. Yeah. But they did add a lot of things to that, and which was kind of cool and stuff. So if you do have Street Fighter V and still like going through the seasons, if you do own it, the arcade mode and all that stuff is free. If you don't own season 2, they'll give you a discounted for like $20. But if you do own it, if you already got the season passes, the arcade mode and everything out, and season 1 I think is free.
Gotcha. But I recommend it. Hey, Ryu's back. He's a character again.
Yeah.
He's not garbage.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. The arcade, like, it gives you different endings and stuff like that. So I thought it was cool, and they have some old school, new backgrounds and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Okay. Anything else?
Oh, I wanted to bring up Devilman.
Oh, Devilman.
I saw that.
Let us talk about Devilman.
Oh, you saw it too? Oh boy. Ooh.
I haven't finished it, but I got up to episode 6.
Oh no, I didn't even get that far. I was just telling Mark earlier. I saw the first episode and
just talk about the style and shit.
He was wondering about that. Yeah, he was wondering.
I could understand. I was having that same issue, right? The art style is fine. It's anime. The flat color scheme they're using on all the characters, they use flat colors with no shading, which is, it definitely gives it a look of those, but it just makes it bland to me. It's very bland because everything's muted because there's no shading.
Yeah.
The only time you kind of get shading is when you get your dark scenes, and they actually uses actual shadows. But for the most part, the characters are not shaded. They're just flat colors. They use flat colors. You know what I mean? When I say shading and rendering, I mean, when you look at a face and the contour, the contours are, above the eyes are darker than around the eyes because that's where the light's hitting. It's all just flat. It's all just flat colors. They don't do any of that. So that's a little weird for something like that. And then I was like, all right, I get the kind of grunge style they're going with, but it's like, I don't know. I'm trying to get past that to go.
How's the style of the show?
Though? Well, wait. Hold on. Because he's talking about it, but we were talking about it from a different perspective.
Yeah,
go for it.
We were fans of like just the original Devilman.
I love the original one.
Fucking nuts.
Right, of course. Yeah.
That was actually one of the first anime like shit I've seen besides Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, that was like.
So I went from Street Fighter 2 to that.
That's a big jump.
And I was like, "This is what they do? Oh shit! I gotta keep watching these things."
That's a big ass jump.
Yeah. It is.
But so my initial, because I'm only gonna go off the first episode. So my initial impression, I didn't know about the color thing. So now maybe it's gonna be an uncanny thing where I can't unsee it.
Unsee it. Sorry about that.
But so my impression was, it seems faithful to the source material when it comes to why the devil's here, what's happening, the environment that they show up in, and all that stuff. And it's just like, oh, this is some shit. Like when it gets going, once they get to that party and homeboy breaks that bottle, it starts to get real quick. Like
it does. Like I didn't even expect that to happen. It just does.
I'm not even gonna lie. I love when the dude, I forgot his name, but I love when the main character's best friend shows up with the fucking with the white mink. He had a white mink on, and he's got like a machine gun. In the real world, like this is crazy.
Let's talk about the dudes, because they were, I guess, in the first episodes, the dude's rapping.
Oh yeah. I like that. I like
A
that.
lot of that goes on, and it's pretty cool. It's like I was listening to another podcast. It's like, yeah, man, they just kind of go in there rapping, and I'm thinking one of the translators like, well, fuck that, we just putting it in there the way it is,
Mhm.
which is fine. I got to figure out what those three artists are, because they just every now and again they're like the show. Like every now you get that freestyle break. Every
Mhm.
couple episodes, just like blang, and it's dope, right? I'll just spoiler alert. One of the characters do rapping.
I don't want a spoiler.
When you get there, you'll see it. But that's
I
it.
haven't watched nothing yet.
That's it. I won't go into any deal. Like I said,
Oh, that's cool.
that's it. They rap. It's cool.
I forgive you.
The rapping's cool. I thought it was off-putting,
For now.
but the more I saw it, the cooler it got.
All right, I gotta watch it. I'll take the time to watch it this week. Another one that came out just recently is Godzilla. It has the anime on Netflix. It's about 2 hours long.
Do you know what this is from? Like, is this like
Hour
an
28.
anniversary project or something? like that?
No, it's its own entity. It's like its own
Yeah,
anime
Netflix original.
based on Godzilla. Yeah.
All right, cool.
It's pretty dope. Like if you're a Godzilla fan and you like the old history movie kind of shit like that, it pays a lot of homage to it. It could get really dry in the beginning because again, a lot of Godzilla movies as well are really dry in the beginning until you see the monsters fight. So
There's a lot of world building, a lot of storytelling, a lot
Do you-
of just
Yeah.
people talking.
Wait,
But
do
this
you
is
have
like
to,
yeah.
do you have to learn the horrors of nuclear war?
Yep.
Well,
All right.
that's not very hard.
Yeah.
To let you know really quickly
Yeah.
how bad this was. But I like what they're doing with Godzilla in it. It looks, his effects are fantastic,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
The animation looks beautiful. The animation is beautiful on
it's
this.
a cell shade
Yeah.
job, CG cell shade.
Okay.
So which is always a good way to go with that. Like if you're gonna do anime,
Yeah.
Mhm.
not the bad way like Berserk, but the good way. The good way. So it was a little bit more than I thought it was gonna be. Then I realized Godzilla was always that. Like you said, the dry parts where there's a lot of like future, like not future speak, but what I mean like it's like a lot of political drama going on
Yeah.
Okay.
between Godzilla.
But if you go to the history of Godzilla, they all had that.
Right,
they all
that's
had that
always
story
been,
that were
right?
really dry, and you're just waiting for
Yeah.
Godzilla to fight.
But
They
when you
all
do get
like
to the Godzilla scenes, you're like, wow.
Got you. Does it?
Right.
Is it? Does this thing go full kaiju in since it's the first one?
So like the game starts the game. It should be a game.
It should.
The movie starts off. I say this starts off, and you may agree with me and may not agree with me. The movie starts off like it was a mix between Pacific Rim and the two current Godzilla movies. Like it starts off, this is what happens. You come run amok, and then
Yeah.
Godzilla is the last one to emerge. So it's literally like Pacific, like they came from the depths of the earth. So it's like
Yeah.
it's fucking Pacific Rim meets Godzilla. It's like the way we want to see. But it's essentially they came up, it attacked everywhere. They're fighting, they're pushing them back, and then all of a sudden Godzilla, and that's it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Godzilla, that's it. So without going into any more spoilers, that's the premise, right?
Okay.
It's about an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be episodic, so it's supposed to be another episode of
Part
in,
one,
like 3
episode
months.
one. That's
Yeah.
what threw me off when I saw it. It's like part one, episode one.
But it
I was
is
like, all right.
planning it as a series, so I think there's 2 episodes for the next one, which is in 2 months.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right.
Yeah. So I think they combined 3 episodes in one
You
sitting.
think that's how they did it instead of?
I have a
like,
feeling
making-
they did that because it was
instead of 3 episodes.
just like Bright.
Mm. Oh,
Bright
man, that
seemed
was
like
fun.
it was gonna be. Yeah,
I like Bright. That was fun.
me too.
I
We
did,
talked
like I
about
said,
that.
we talked about it. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
Bright as well.
Mhm.
Should have been a series, and maybe it is gonna.
And there's
So
a
it's
lot
gonna
of
get
like
a second
loopholes
movie.
like that. Yeah.
All right. Question.
They said it's
Recommend.
it got greenlit. Go on.
You recommend Godzilla or no?
I do.
Okay.
Take a look.
I love Godzilla.
Alright.
I'll recommend it
Godzilla's
even if
great.
I didn't see it because it's Godzilla.
Here's something before I forget. Castlevania getting its second season. I think 8 episodes
yeah.
this time.
August, right? Is it
Confirmed.
sometimes?
Because
I believe it's
that
summertime.
was a tease. They're like, here's a little sample.
Oh,
It's
dude.
just a reminder that when you're not the big, huge studio, animation's hard
Yeah.
and it takes time. Animation's
Well, you know
hard,
what?
It takes time,
Here's
especially
another
when you're
reason.
doing 2D.
Here's another reason to
Go
say
ahead, sorry.
fuck Konami. Give them money.
Yeah. Other than that, I know Voltron's coming back February.
Oh, nice. So what's this,
They're
season
making me
5
smile.
or 6?
Yeah, they're doing every
5?
3 months. It looks like they're doing every
3.
3 months.
No, we had 3. It should be 4, right?
No,
This
4 was
will
the,
be
4 was the
4.
last.
This will be 5. Yeah,
This will be
It's
5.
gonna be 5. Yeah.
it's gonna be
So I
another
kinda feel
8
like
episodes.
I feel like they're doing it quarterly, which I would like.
Yeah, it's every 3 months.
4 times a year.
Every 3 months.
That's fine for me. Yep. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
it's gonna be every 3-4 months. Yeah, that's pretty on point with that.
That continues to be a really good cartoon.
Yes, it does.
Just a really good piece of animation
Um,
overall.
yeah,
Makes me smile.
Mhm.
yes,
Voltron, dude.
yes. And then they're looking for the rights for Masters of the Universe now. Netflix is trying to make a series of Masters of the Universe.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Animated or
Do I
real
want
life?
it to still be
Animated.
Hmm.
I
Oh, you
liked
want it
the
to be hokey?
I really liked the Cartoon Network one. I
I'm
thought
trying to
it was.
remember. I've seen like 2 episodes.
I thought it was misinterpreted, and I think they just didn't. Like a lot of people didn't know who the fuck was He-Man when that came out. Pretty much.
Mm. Wow.
So, and then if you're like a '90s baby, you got a really terrible He-Man
I know, right?
with the rat tail.
Oh,
Like I said, in
I
that same thing,
forgot.
like Cartoon Network tried to bring back 2 things and it didn't work. Like I liked
Thundercats
Cartoon
was
Network
good too.
running, but it just went away. I thought that would have got the next season.
Yeah. I think it's the fact that if Cartoon Network doesn't get a certain amount of ratings, they like so it kind of failed. When now you have Netflix and shit that will take over it, just the fact that they know people will watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Netflix, bring Cartoon Network's Thundercats and
Old
He-Man
stuff.
to
Yeah,
Netflix.
dude. Please.
Oh, and
Please.
last but not least, Teen Titans Go got a movie.
When's it coming out? Or is it out?
Summer.
Summertime. Nice.
It's actually a movie theater movie.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
Even better. That's
So-
awesome.
That'd probably be the best DC movie this year. Yay!
Damn. Shots fired.
Yep.
Okay. Do you know if it's full cast and everything?
Yeah.
Nice. Good. Oh, what's the art style though?
Same.
Brand new? Or is it...
Titans Go.
Oh, okay. Got you. Wow, that's cool. That's cool. They're gonna do a movie in the art and that. Oh man, how about that? Look at that. Persistence pays off. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, I don't know if we should wrap it up. I don't want to go too long.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
I got you got Dragon Ball Fighters, Monster Hunter. We'll have some more game videos for you guys. I kind of missed this week because of jury duty, so and I am still on it. So I gotta get more videos.
Second person I heard this week talking about jury. Well,
I
in the
did-
past week.
I did record more of my Adventures of Loki. I'm going through the
Oh,
Thieves
get
Guild.
ya.
I'm going through the Thieves Guild in Skyrim with my Loki character
Mm-hmm.
based on my kitty, and I'm going through the Thieves Guild. So I'm doing the whole storyline with the Thieves Guild. I think that's how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do like the big story arcs, and then I'll just play through those
Okay. Cool,
and
man.
shit like that.
Also, just jump back real quick because I got distracted. I wanted to talk about the Teen Titans Go thing. The fact that they got a movie just makes my heart sing. They've been doing it real well, the cartoon, and it gets so much shit, but they've been persistent and carried on it for it because I think it's a really good show. I think it's really good on its humor. It has a certain hits or miss for an 11-minute cartoon, but for the most part, they hit it home. They're really good with their writing. Also, check out on my Instagrams and on the Facebook side. I drew a picture of Raven because they had a contest for the kiddies to send into the show for drawing an alternate version of the Teen Titans Go characters, like their anti or opposite Titan versions. So I drew a angelic version of Raven, and I posted that there. So
Yeah, you look good.
All
You did a
right.
good
So,
job.
where can we find this?
I'll post it up on our.
it's Commander Farrell on Instagram, I believe.
Okay. All right.
I think
But,
he
he'll
posted
post
it
it,
on
so check the
the.
site.
You posted it on the Cyclone.
Go. Okay. Gotcha.
Well,
Yeah,
yep,
post
check it
on
out
the
the
Cyclone,
website.
something like that. Then nothing else that's coming out this week besides Dragon Ball and that. There's no movies until February, Black Panther. So, yeah. So next week we have Captain America: First Avenger,
Mhm.
Power Verdict.
Oh,
And-
side note, Side note: my Spaceballs Blu-ray started working,
Yay!
so I'm very happy about that. This weekend I had a lull in my internet for some reason, so I had to do something else. So I put it back in, and now it was working great. I was introducing my children to Spaceballs for the first time.
That's awesome. Good job, good job. I saw you and your son playing Overwatch too.
Yes, so we
That's
have a new
awesome.
setup in the crib. If you checked out the picture, that so now we have 2 Xboxes, and so I'm starting the training. So once I get him into the Overwatch League, I can retire and he can take care of me. So we started playing together. He's been enjoying that. He's been very happy. It's something that he's wanted to do for a while.
And his daddy-son bonding. Aww.
So
How long till he's better than you?
Oh, he's
Probably
already
ready.
Oh Jesus!
Probably whooping his ass already.
once like as a mechanical ability, he's already better than me. He just needs to learn game sense. Once he knows what to do, when to do it, then it's over. You know what I mean? That's it. But moving the controller and doing the aim thing, he's got that down. That's the youth for
All right. There you go.
So,
There you go.
So follow us everywhere. RedCycloneInc,
Yes,
Facebook,
sir.
Twitter, Instagram, WordPress,
Just so you know,
Tumblr.
on our YouTube, we have the Mass Effect playthrough going full Renegade.
Yeah.
God, let me just say that they didn't tell you on the back of the box that just pressing right trigger would be the best feeling in that game. Every time you see it pop up, right trigger.
Do it.
Do
Yeah.
it.
Just
Give
shut.
in. Give in.
Tell him to shut up. Right trigger.
Give in to the dark side. Let your scars show.
I was about to say, how cracked up is your face? How cracked up is that face?
Oh no, I got the medical bay. I got rid of my scars. You can't see my evil.
Damn,
Oh,
you
nice.
should have let it like all deteriorate. That would have been fucking dope.
No, I like his face. That's why I picked
Yeah.
the default shepherd. I like his.
Oh, okay.
I like that guy.
Default Shepherd's pretty dope. Anyways, that's it, guys. I gotta go.
All right,
Follow
y'all.
me around. I'll gladly give you money Tuesday for a hamburger today. That pull.
What else?
Man, that has nothing to do-
I got Skyrim. I got Adventures of Loki. I'll post them up this week. Doing the Thieves Guild and the Companions stories right now. And then I'll have Sunset Riders, the full playthrough.
Awesome.
If there's any retro games, hit me up. If you want to see videos of certain retro games, I'll try to my best to get my hands on them and play and do playthroughs. Probably do a podcast playthrough. Me and my girl are gonna start planning a podcast when we finish a trilogy or a big set of movies. So we went through Harry Potter, so we might do a cast about that.
Okay.
And then we might do the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Nice. Somebody has to do that work, so I don't have to. God damn, I'm not watching.
So we've been going through the movies like that. So I thought about doing a little cast and just having me and her talk and stuff like that, which we usually do anyway. So that's recorded. So we might have that coming up with guest Spare specials. We should have another Power Ranger cast coming up this week or next. And
Cool. Big things coming. New logos.
we'll
I'm
be
making
doing-
new logos
yes,
and stuff.
new logos and updated logos, and our Power Rangers cast is up to Wild Force. And our next thing that we'll be going through is the Disney's first take on Power Rangers, Wild Force.
Awesome.
And
All
that's
right.
it. That's all I got.
That's it for this week.
Peace out. Watch
You heard where to
games.
find us.
Yeah.
Take it easy, y'all.
And,
Peace.